Let's look at those commonalities. Let's look at those signs that it might be time to find a new real estate brokerage. Hey, it's Jaime with JaimeResendiz.com, where we have one of the fastest growing and largest real estate agent communities worldwide. All right, so let's jump right into it. Number one, it's a financial thing. At the end of the day, it matters how much you take home. You work extremely hard to secure a client, to work with that client, and ultimately receive a commission check. And when you start seeing all of the fees, all of the splits, and everything else dwindle the amount that you get to take home, you start to ask questions. So periodically, it's okay to have conversations with that other brokerage in town. It's okay to have conversations with that team leader that is your competitor right now. It's okay. Give yourself permission to have those conversations, to have that coffee, to have that lunch, and hear them out. Because now more than ever, brokerages have to justify their splits with you. They have to justify their fees. With the decentralization of information, you as a real estate agent, you have a lot more power than you had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Heck, remember back in the day, you had a physical MLS book that the brokerage controlled. That's no longer the case. You have access to the MLS regardless of the brokerage that you're with, wherever you are. So you now, again, more than ever, you have a lot more power than you think you do. So from the financial piece, take into consideration, what are my splits? What are my fees? How much am I taking home? Is there other opportunities for additional revenue streams at my present brokerage? And something else to consider that comes up all of the time whenever I'm speaking with real estate agents, whether they're brand new or they're with another brokerage, is training. Ask yourself, in the brokerage that I'm presently at, am I getting new information? Am I being trained on social media? Am I being trained on YouTube? Am I being trained on the new mechanisms, the new platforms out there that help me get more business? Because if you continue to have to go outside of the brokerage, chances are that the resources just aren't there. And oftentimes, if you have to go outside of the brokerage, well, it's rare that information is absolutely free. So that means that you have to pay additional money in order to obtain that information that in several brokerages, in fact, many brokerages, there's a lot of good brokerages out there, give you that information already within your fees. So from a financial standpoint, if you're already paying a large split and you still on top of that have to go outside of the brokerage for additional training, well, why are you paying that large fee to begin with? So while the financial sign is incredibly important and training is most frequently asked, it's actually the support, the third reason or the third sign or the third commonality that keeps agents from moving altogether. After having conversations with all of these real estate agents, the number one reason that agents don't go through and actually change a brokerage is because the support. Agents are unsure the level of support that they're going to get in the new place. And I don't blame a single agent for not moving, because I do the same thing in other parts of my business. I'm familiar, I'm comfortable, I know what I'm going to expect with what I have now. Going to something new, that uncertainty just isn't something that I'm willing to do in many cases. But you have to ask yourself, whether you're a brand new agent or an experienced agent, you have to ask yourself the same question. If I have a question in my present brokerage, can I get a qualified answer to it? Meaning, if I have a question right here, right now, from a client that is looking to work with me from a residential standpoint or from a commercial standpoint, whatever part of real estate you touch, can I get my question answered? Or is there a resource to me available in real time, such as a centralized hub or an SOP that I have access to in order to get my question answered? As an example, what we do in our group is we have a centralized hub for all of the resources that we offer our agents. The free editing, the done-for-you social media, the lead generation, the virtual assistant support, the templates, the scripts, everything is in one central location, and our agents only have to remember one URL to have access to everything instantly. So if your broker or support staff or other agents within the office are unavailable and there is no resource that you can go to get an answer, well, that lets you know that the support just might not be there. Now, the next sign that it might be time to find a new real estate brokerage is a bit controversial, and that is if you are the top dog in that brokerage. I know it's controversial and I know it's not something you hear all that often, but same way that you wouldn't buy the most expensive home on the block, you don't want to be the most successful real estate agent in your office. Now, of course, you can aspire to be that, and I really do desire that you become the top producer everywhere, but the reason that I don't suggest that you remain as the top dog in your office is because you're gonna find it extremely challenging to continue ascending, to continue growing. If you remain the top dog in your office, there's a danger that you're going to regress to the mean, because it's very easy to get comfortable. It's very easy to get pulled into the office and train others and really lose focus of what it is that you were doing to achieve that top status. Now, I'm not saying don't contribute to other real estate agents, don't help them out. That'd be a little bit hypocritical considering I have over 1,000 videos on this YouTube channel alone. What I am saying is it's challenging to remain focused, because if you find yourself getting a little bit unfocused or a bit too comfortable on the mountain that you just climbed, it's far too easy to have your numbers dip. And if they dip far enough, you're going to find yourself being resentful on the individuals that pulled your attention from your business altogether. So then nobody's happy. Another sign that it might be time to look elsewhere is a bit subjective, but it is important enough to mention, and that's culture. Now, again, I understand that it's super subjective, but we all understand that discomfort when we walk into an office where we just sense something is off. Or we also have experiences with our colleagues or leadership of the brokerage where certain topics get brought up and you're just not aligned with their values. Or something a bit more tangible would be if you continue to bring up new ideas of marketing, new ideas of growing the business, or just new ideas altogether, and your voice just isn't being heard. Again, culture can go in so many different ways, but you have your own definition of culture. Just ask yourself, am I in the right place? And your gut feeling is going to tell you a lot. And the next sign that it might be time to seek another real estate brokerage is if you've experienced zero growth in your brokerage. Now, with this one in particular, you have to have a good sense of self-awareness. You know if you put in the work. You know if you followed the guidance that was set forth by your team leader, by your colleagues, by your broker. You know if you did the work. And again, this is only something you can answer. If you did all that was asked of you and then some, and you experience zero growth, then it might be time to look at another real estate brokerage, because they may not be equipped to compete in this market. They may be teaching you antiquated strategies that just don't work today. Now, again, you have to be honest with yourself. If you didn't do the work, then just own it. You didn't do the work. No other brokerage is going to fix that for you. If you didn't do the calls, if you didn't send out the text, if you didn't send out the emails, if you didn't post on social media, if you didn't go through the training or seek out support, then that's on you. It's not the brokerage. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up today's video sponsor. And today's video is sponsored by the subscribe button. So make sure to go down to the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to support our sponsor.